person. For those of you who are here in person, if you could just do me a favor and make sure that any electronic devices you have are either in do not disturb or in meditation mode. And we're going to get ready to move into our meditation service. So if you're streaming in live, or if you're here live, you're here for our time of communion with Spirit. This is what meditation is. I'm Reverend Keith. I'd like to welcome you to our meditation service. And we are going to allow ourselves to set a couple intentions before we begin. One would be that all of our meditations are delicious, brilliant, elegant, inspirational, rejuvenating, and relaxing, and joyous. We also want to have the intention that we will allow all distractions to just not bother us whatsoever. When you set the intention to be undistracted, then you will find that you will be undistracted. So whether there are outside noises or inside noises, however that goes, we're going to allow ourselves to be undistracted by communing with Spirit in a deliberate, intentional, loving, and peaceful way. For those of you who are seasoned at meditating, you might just go off into the ethers even now. For those of you who are newer to meditation, there will be a centering. And the centering is what allows us to move from the chattering mind, the distracted mind, the undistracted, and the non-thinking mind of the higher consciousness. Every single person on this planet is endowed with the abilities to steep in the nectar of the divine. As a matter of fact, we do it unconsciously all the time. You go into the zone when you're out somewhere and you get lost in a beautiful sight. Maybe while you're exercising, you get lost or transfixed in the beauty of nature, whatever that may be. The difference between unconscious and conscious meditation is that we bring intention to our conscious meditation. And the intention is to allow rejuvenation, revelation, and relaxation. So like I mentioned, I'm going to center us. Some of you might go off into the ethers before that. That is great. If you hear every word I say, wonderful. If you don't hear a word I say, that's okay. If you doze off, that's fine. And if you have any wandering thoughts, the best thing to do is not engage them. Just allow them to be. You don't have to chase them away. Just continually come back to center. I will give you some ways to do that. With that being said, and also just making sure that any devices you have here in the room that are electronic are in either do not disturb or airplane mode. And we're going to go ahead and I'm going to invite you to join me. Unless for some specific reason you'd like to do this as an open-eyed meditation, which you are welcome to do. Open-eyed meditations, unless it's a video, are generally best accomplished by finding one singular point to focus your eyes on. Don't let your eyes wander. If your eyes wander, your mind will wander. So whether that's something back here or somewhere else in the room. Otherwise, I'm going to invite you to join me as we close the outer eyes and open the inner eye as we prepare to begin. Ourselves permission to relax. Just saying to ourselves in our minds, I give myself permission to relax. As we invite, as we evoke, and as we allow the divine energies of peace, love, beauty, and grace wash over us, and to rise up from within us. Remembering we have no place to go. We have nothing to do except completely surrender into the deepest states of rejuvenation, revelation, and relaxation. And so I invite you to bring your awareness to your crown at the top of your head. And imagine your crown is wide open, like the dome of an observatory, that you may gaze at the cosmos. And then I invite you to bring your awareness to the highest point you can imagine, the highest point of divinity. And imagine an energy, the very heart, the very mind of God, like a waterfall of cascading light, soothing, softening, cascading, relaxing as it washes down over your entire being. Some people see this as a golden white energy cascading down. And as that energy lands upon your scalp, cheeks, shoulders, you begin to feel a contagion of relaxation flooding your entire body. That light, a vapor of energy, you can feel as you breathe. And as you inhale, you can feel that light coming in through your crown, down into the heart. And all the cells and all the molecules in your body temple begin to illuminate from the inside out, as this energy washes over us from the inside in. And as you inhale, you can feel the eternal frequency, the divine light, illuminating your heart. Waves of joy, peace, tranquility, flooding into the heart center. And we move into a state of divine receptivity, allowing your heart to fill. Bring your awareness to your heart center. And you may begin to feel or see the light growing and glowing like a starburst in the middle of your chest. And as you allow your heart to fill and overflow with the divine light and grace and beauty of your soul, of God, you begin to feel its natural byproducts. That resilient, relaxing, flowing light begins to overflow the heart. And waves and tingles of energy begin to flood down through your hips and legs and into your feet. And you can feel all your toes tingling, softening, strengthening, and relaxing. As waves of rejuvenation begin to rise from your toes into your heels and ankles. You can feel your calves and shins melting into the light. Everything softening, strengthening. You can feel your kneecaps, thighs and hamstrings flooding with light. swirling around in the intestines, the kidneys, the lower back, flooding your lower belly with a soft, powerful sense of serenity, divine strength, that energy rising up your spine, into your core, your midsection. Everything softening, strengthening, relaxing. As joy and beauty overflow your heart, you can feel your upper chest, your shoulder blades, flooding with light. And that light, both as luminosity and weightlessness, begins to rise into the shoulders, waves of freedom, dissolving all tension, all distractions fading further and further into the background as we allow ourselves to go deeper into the divine light, the eternal frequencies, that energy tingling and flooding your cheeks, your jawbone and chin as your face. Let's go of all expression in your scalp, every follicle flooded with light. Waves of peace and balance, calm, relaxation flowing through your emotional body as divine strength regenerates, rejuvenates, and flows out into the mental body. And as we let go of all thoughts, all words, as we let go of time, letting go of the past, letting go of the future, letting go of the present, and going even deeper and higher into the eternal. You begin to feel the energy of your bliss body, the timeless brilliance, the beauty of your soul. The true you, our divine nature, unencumbered, uninhibited, and fully resplendent and radiant in peace. We feel our oneness divine with our soul. And in this revelatory state of relaxation, as we naturally rejuvenate, we simply allow ourselves to observe. No searching, no seeking, just bathing in the light. And it is here that we allow ourselves to rest, rejuvenate and relax, circulating, ever expanding good. On your next inhalation, imagine that energy waves of bliss, beauty, joy, peace, calm, tranquility flooding into your heart. I'm going to invite you to allow your divine energy quotient, your entire beingness, to expand, to hold more good. I'm going to invite you to become aware of your entire energy body by bringing your awareness down to the south pole of your energy field. About a meter, 3 or 4 feet beneath the bottoms of our feet. A starburst of light, as many have seen it. Some have seen it as emerald green and white. Your 10th chakra, the south pole, where we ground heaven on earth. On your next breath, I invite you to imagine your inhalation coming in from the source of infinite brilliance, down through your crown, through your heart, all the way to the south pole of your energy field. It flows down through your central core, through your legs and feet, and when you feel it nestled at the bottom of your energy field, in the very rich and fertile soil of Mother Earth, we are grounding to, through, and as our beingness, the divine qualities, that they may manifest as real, as tangible, as pure. Inhaling, drawing in the eternal frequencies of wellness, goodness, tranquility, serenity, zest, and zeal, optimism, and faith, and allowing them to flow all the way down. As the entire energy body floods with light, we remember the truth that beyond our human nature, there is a divine eternal brilliance that we call the universe, that we call God. Omniamorous, all-loving, all-knowing, all-powerful. That which is right now orbiting every planet in our solar system effortlessly and elegantly around the sun, while the entire solar system is effortlessly and elegantly moving together through our galaxy, while the entire galaxy is moving throughout the universe, and while our blood is circulating and our heart is beating, all of this by the omniactive flow, the chi, the prana, that only seeks to beget good. For we know that the universe of the divine only seeks to beget good. In this one presence, this one omniamorous power, which we are born from, eternal light, beyond our name, gender, age, race, situations, or circumstances. There is a light, an eternal brilliance that has never been hurt or harmed. And simply by relaxing, returning, we allow ourselves to remember the truth. We are the beloved in whom the divine is so pleased. We are born from the holy light, the holy heart, the holy mind. An ever-expanding good is always seeking to have its way. How grateful I am to know that just by relaxing, opening deliberately our hearts, our bodies, our emotions, our minds, we return home without having to go anywhere. And once again, as we bring our awareness down to the bottom of our energy field, grounding peace, love, joy, wellness, and goodness on earth, we allow it to continue to lift us from glory to greater glory. Knowing this day is blessed, we are blessed, and as we rise, all rise. Every one of our family members and friends, just by us relaxing here in this divine moment, is blessed. We allow ourselves to take these blessings and expand them from glory to greater glory. We ground it so, we claim it so, and we simply allow it to be so by saying, and so it is. So it is. Amen. And as we come back into a lucid state of divine awareness, we're going to go ahead and we've got about 6 or so minutes before our regular service begins. So for those of you at home, streaming in live from around the globe, we are just going to keep the camera rolling. The live stream is going to keep going. You'll see what goes on, those moments in between our meditation service and our music and the message. For those of you here, we're going to open the doors, let those who've been waiting outside come in. If you need the restrooms, they're over there. If you're using the restroom at home, make sure you're back in about 6 minutes when we begin our service. And welcome to Soul Center. Namaste.
There was a time in my go down to the sea with a small glass, you can come away with only a small glass full of ocean. If you go down to the sea with buckets, you'll come away with buckets full of ocean. The ocean itself is large enough to give you any amount of whatever you need. So it is with consciousness, with God appearing as our individual consciousness. We can go to that consciousness for a little bit, or we can go to it for a great deal, since consciousness, even individual consciousness, yours and mine, is infinite in scope. From now on, give not only much thought to this, but practice it, so that when a need of any name or nature arises, you will immediately turn within to your own consciousness in a state of receptivity with that listening ear. Let your consciousness unfold, disclose and reveal whatever is necessary in your experience. Let us not forget, however, in all this seeking, what that light is. Allegorical or metaphorical language. We have taken the veil off the subject, what is God? We have revealed God as individual consciousness. Never again think of God as something far off, something that has to be prayed to or pleased in any way. Think of God, rather, as the real substance of your being, the very center of your being, into which you can reach in silence and bring forth a world of harmony, peace, and health. Let us pray with Reverend Keith.
Oh, thank you, Lauren. That was brilliant and beautiful. So I'm just going to invite you all to join me as we move into a state of holy recognition, holy receptivity, as we move into a state of gratitude, knowing that there is one omniamorous power that only seeks to beget one thing, and that is beauty, peace, love, and joy. And that is God's nature, that is our nature. The universe is infinite bliss, expressing itself everywhere, all the time, as goodness. We know that which we know to be God Almighty, whether we call it Allah, Jehovah, Yahweh, Elohim, Adonai, the Great One, the Creator, the universe, we know that it only praises, raises, lavishes, and loves from the oneness and the allness of goodness. And we, each and every one of us, born from this eternal magnificence, are one with it. Born in the image and likeness of God, we choose to remember the truth, that which is breathing our breath, circulating our blood, digesting our food, that allows us to hear and see and smell and taste and know, we are one with. We are one with that power that circulates itself as higher consciousness. We allow ourselves to be one with that. Oh, how grateful I am to know that each and every one of us has everything we need, everything endowed, imbued, every gift, every talent, feel, see, hear, know, and understand the absolute truth of the universal presence. And it is from a place of deep and abiding thanksgiving, knowing that the yearnings of the soul to be satiated by the law of creation are simply having its way this day. For it is God's good pleasure to deliver the kingdom of heaven, and that is all it does, and that is what we are saying yes to. Right here, right now. We accept it so, we allow it to be so, and we agree by saying, and so it is.
So it is.
Amen.
Now we have agape affirmations. You'll find them in your program and coming up on the screen. I'll speak the line, and then we'll all repeat them aloud together with sincerity and acceptance. That's so right here. Besides that, just let the words wash over and really feel it in your heart as you speak these words. Let that warmth wash through you. I stand in awareness of an awesome God.
I stand in awareness of an awesome God.
Today I walk boldly and freely into my divine destiny.
Today I walk boldly and freely into my divine destiny.
I am filled to overflowing with the good of God.
I am filled to overflowing with the good of God.
Spirit-inspired teachings light my path and show the way.
Spirit-inspired teachings light my path and show the way.
My body temple is a fit and fine instrument for God to express.
My body temple is a fit and fine instrument for God to express.
Gracefully and gratefully I live these words of truth.
Gracefully and gratefully I live these words of truth.
And so it is. Amen.
And so it is. Amen.
You may now be seated. Thank you. I'm also asked to mention that for those of you who would like to experience a private, individual, and confidential prayer today, please come to the patio after the service, and a licensed Soul Center prayer chaplain wearing a blue shawl will see you there.
I don't know who chose that reading, it was perfect. Where I'm going next. This song is really important to me because I grew up atheist actually, and the word God had so much baggage on it for so long, and I think people share that. So this is a song that's an affirmation for me, and I use it in my daily life, and I hope that it comes across to you in that way. But it was a way for me to redefine the concept, and here it is. It's called God. Sitting still distills the memory outside the mind, but deep inside the senses, there's only sweetness and love without, rest of it all alone, love forevermore, love forevermore, love forevermore. It's always, always, always been here. Always, always been here. God.
I'm grateful you're here. Thank you so much. And of course, the boys, Jesse's back. And our beloved Brian, we're grateful. Oh, so good. Thank you so much. That was beautiful, Sheila. We love you. We love you, boys. We love all of you. Welcome, Soul Center. Good morning.
Yes. Good morning.
I'm Reverend Keith Horowitz, and I am here to sell you on God. I'm doing a big infomercial to give you all the pros and none of the cons of being enlightened.
Oh, it's
Despite what you may have heard somewhere else, enlightenment is where it's at. We want to really start to explore our divinity, which is inevitable. So we are part of the Agape International Spiritual Center. If there's anybody here who is new, I welcome you too. I see some returning faces here from a ways back, so good to see you. And for those of you streaming in live, good morning, good afternoon, good evening to you as well. We are here to get into the Behoove groove. We are here to be inspired. I'm here to sell you on the divine. And that is by kind of remembering. We just want to remember. This is nothing you're learning. You're remembering who you are. You're remembering how the universe works. You're remembering where you came from. You're remembering the truth. And that's what the Agape International Spiritual Center, as a New Thought, Ageless Wisdom Teaching and Spiritual Center, part of the New Thought movement, is all about. It's about the truth teachings, the mystical aspect of the truth teachings found, embedded, sometimes hidden, in the mystical practices of all religions, in the mystical practices. So it's kind of like when you go to elementary school, you learn how to read, you learn about grammar, you learn the basics and the fundamentals of math. But as anything, learning an instrument, learning how to paint, you learn the fundamentals and then you embody it. You allow it to have its way with you, to you, through you, as you. That's what our teachings are all about. Getting you engaged, getting you immersed. And since it is good and only good, then you would think that everybody would be like, yes, I'm in. I'm in to really live a life of ever-expanding good. But wouldn't you know, every once in a while, we get snagged and trapped by that part of our human experience that holds us in patterns of stagnation, mediocrity, and that's because of that little bugger called the belief system. The belief system belongs to your ego, and we're here to clean that out. And as we continue this month is we've proclaimed it to shine your light. So I'm asking you to step it up. That is the topic for today, steeping and stepping it up. Step up every area of your life in good. And sometimes, it's hard to step it up if you don't know you need to step it up. You got to step it up unless you're blissed out of your gourd 24/7, where you're just fully illuminated every day. All you do is live in inspired thought, speak of eloquence, speak of good, are of service to everyone. Your body temple is radiant with wellness. Your body of affairs is overflowing with magnificent relationships, where everybody you see, you're just like, oh my God, I love you. Unless that is happening 24/7, even when you're sleeping in a multiverse, multidimensional experience, then you got some work to do. You got some work to do. We want to get in there, step it up. You want to step it up and make sure that you understand how these things work. You know, for so many years, a lot of the mystical teachings have become a little mainstream. They've filtered into yoga classes. They've filtered into meditation centers. They've filtered into the mainstream in some of the teachings, even in school with mindfulness. But they go so far. And sometimes they get stuck in the superficial, or they get into where the ego takes it and turns it into wants. Wants of the ego versus desires of the soul. A desire of the soul is seeking to be satiated. Bliss, beauty, brilliance is seeking to be satiated through you all the time. The universe has a divine impulse and an intelligence and an inertia that wants to pull you into magnificence, blissfully, gracefully, beautifully, homeostatically, and we want to say yes to that. So to understand how these things work, when we see things like how the law of attraction gets interpreted as it makes its way into as mindfulness, which oftentimes gets interpreted as just being polite. I'm just going to be polite, even though there's a part of me that wants to just punch you. I'm just going to be polite about it. That is not really mindful. Mindful is transmuting and transcending the part of you that would want to punch the other person or make them understand what's going on. We want to make sure that we are participating in the conscious evolution of our human experience. No status quo, no mediocrity. In every area, you want to get out your divine magnifying glass and start looking in all the little nooks and crannies to find out, where can I bring excellence? Where can I bring and expand more peace? Where can I bring and expand more joy? So if you understand that part of that comes through intention, intention is what gets the ball rolling. I want to set an intention. We are choosing every day, and technically we're setting intentions all the time, whether you do it consciously or unconsciously. Intentions, whatever you're going to eat, there's an intention there. There's something going on. You're always making a choice, and it always is going to fulfill itself exactly to the frequency of your belief system. So we have our intention, which launches an energy. My intention is to go to Hawaii. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to start investigating and finding out, and then all of a sudden, I'm going to come up against, oh, wow, this is so expensive, oh, I don't know, oh, this is that, and it's going to hit up against my belief system that's going to start to bring worries, doubts, and fears, and start to diminish my desire. No, we're not going to say that. We're going to go ahead and we're going to make sure that the other piece of this equation, which is understanding your feelings. Your intention is what kind of transmits the signal out. Your feeling is what allows it to return to you fulfilled. So to understand how your feelings operate, you want to make sure that you don't disregard how you feel. You also want to make sure that you don't make how you feel real. How you feel, real or imagined, is just a way that you process energy through your energy body. We want to make sure that we understand that your emotional body has feelings, and those feelings will tell you what you believe. So it's, for example, I was talking the other day to sharing in the prayer class. I think it was after the prayer class, but anyway, there was a woman that I was working with once upon a time, and she was desperate. I gotta get married, I gotta find my husband. And we started digging around a little bit, and something slipped out where she goes, yes, I really need a man because I don't feel safe. And it was there's a feeling in there. Let's grab that feeling and see, what do we do with that feeling? You don't want to get married because you don't feel safe. We want to back up a little bit. We're going to take getting married and put it over here on the side burner, and we're going to grab this part of I don't feel safe and see what that's all about. If you're looking for someone in your life just so you can feel safe, that's not, the answered prayer is not, oh, send me somebody that makes me feel safe. The prayer request ought be, I'm choosing to feel safe. I'm choosing to feel empowered. I'm choosing to feel divine strength within me that knows nothing is against me and everything is for me in my life. Nothing is against you and everything is for you. Even if you choose to have bad experiences, it's for you, because The universe says yes. The universe vibrates at yes. If you want to have a bad day, yes. If you want to have a good day, yes. If you want to get married for these reasons, yes. If you don't, yes. The universe vibrates at yes. That is how the universe operates. Where years ago, I think I shared this once a long time ago, there was a gentleman that I was working with, and he was an actor, and he also liked to box, and he would share with me like some of his, war stories about being in the boxing ring. He was so proud. He's like, oh yeah, I broke my rib over here, and I broke this one over here, and oh my jaw got dislocated over here. And he loved boxing. He loved getting in the ring. And I was like, that's cool. Nothing against boxing, whatever. But I'm thinking in the back of my mind, like, wow, I don't care how much of a beautiful padded mitt you have on, like coming into my face. This doesn't sound great to me. I don't need a broken rib. I don't need a dislocated jaw. He showed me the little, thing in his nose. This is because when I got to here, he wanted to get hit. He loved the war wounds. He didn't mind all of that stuff. You want to get a broken bone? Have a broken bone. I'm just using that as an illustration because he actually enjoyed those things. We've all seen, some of those guys, I'm going to go out there and it's like they're going to do whatever those kind of great events are that kind of put you in harm's way. And it's like, fine. We also started to do a little bit of inner work, and we started to find out, it's not, how does it feel, and what are those feelings attached to? Sometimes there's a false positive. False positives are when, somebody who may have a drug addiction, or they have a working addiction, or they have a shopping addiction, whatever that may. A false positive is, I go out there and I do all these things and I think I feel better, but I'm not really satiated. So there was a false positive associated with part of that boxing and the broken ribs and everything like that. And one of that, as we followed it, because the reason he came in to see me at all had nothing to do with boxing. It had to do with going through arduous situations in the workplace. He was having a really hard time with people because things were kind of against him in the workplace. And he wasn't sure, should I move on? But he kept feeling thwarted left and right. So disharmony and non-cooperation were out picturing in his life. Well, as it turns out, there was a little bit of a false positive hidden belief within his subconscious that he had to fight for everything in life. And it was showing up as this false positive. We'd be like, I'm going to get into the boxing ring, I'm going to fight for my good. So we want to become aware of what it is, how we feel about things. When you put an intention out there and it doesn't return to you in its most glorious fashion, that means, because the universe vibrates at yes, not that the universe said no, but that I was not in a divinely receptive place, and that I have hidden beliefs and understandings, or misunderstandings, that don't allow me to receive my good. We don't want to put the blame on the world. We don't want to put the blame on the universe, and we definitely don't want to put the blame on other people. It is a waste of time. Challenges should not be something challenges actually should be something that grow us, not distract us. When you get distracted by a challenge, then you are losing out on a growth opportunity. So for example, there was a gentleman that I was working with once again, and he was in the workplace, and it was a really hard working environment. Boss was really difficult to work with, colleagues were really difficult to work with. He kept getting more and more and more stuff loaded on his workplace. It became a little hostile. His one boss, was very demeaning and would say awful things. And he started going down the rabbit hole. He was I'm going to start recording the conversation. I think I need to sue this situation, because he felt like he was being put in a situation where the workplace was, I can't remember the legal term, but something along the lines, it was an inhospitable working environment, and it was a hostile working environment. Thank you from the lawyer. And, and so it was so you know what, I think I can build up a case as to prove why I'm being wronged. You're being distracted. Instead of proving why you're being wronged, why don't you start proving how you can live a life of reverence and respect and kindness and goodness? Don't take your eye off the prize. Make sure So as we started to really steer the boat and started to delve a little bit deeper into the psyche of the subconscious and find out what are those hidden beliefs that are creating this discord. And sure enough, it wasn't just this one time in this one workplace where there was irreverence, disrespect, and too much of a workload. Now that had been following him his whole life, that he had had it. He had had it, and it was like, I'm so tired of this pattern, I think I need to stand up for myself, and I'm going to stand up for myself by getting distracted in a lawsuit that's going to suck me dry. Now, you know, if you want to go down, if you're going to go down the legal route of a lawsuit because something is very heinous and disproportionate, totally fine, but you better make sure you bring your higher consciousness with you and that you're going to have an intention that is taking you somewhere good. As a matter of fact, you're going to pray for your enemy. You are going to pray. There are no enemies in the divine, and if you want to have no enemies in your life, then you're going to make sure that you pray for them. That is why we pray for our neighbor. That is why we pray for our enemy, because we are dissolving the illusions of separation amongst each other and amongst the divine. Because the divine is showing itself to you through every one of the 8 billion people on this planet. We may think, there's those people over there in that country, in that nation, of that color, and that creed, and of those religions, and blah, 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 and they have nothing to do with me. But they do. We already know in the 6 degrees of unification that your energy field, the energy field you share with another, the energy field you share with your family, the energy field you share with your tribe, and the energy field that you share with humanity at large. And I'm sorry, but you can't get out of any of it. You can't get out. You cannot, you can try as you will to separate yourself from the allness and the wholeness and the goodness and the brilliance and the beauty of the divine and your connection with everything and everyone, but you are going to be on a futile path. Oneness and wholeness and unity is pretty much the only way we rock and roll. We want to make sure that instead of having an action plan, we want to have a traction plan. Something that has traction. You got to have, if you want to allow something to come into your life and be experienced and expressed, first of all, you want to identify it as your intention. If your intention doesn't have traction, then no matter how much action you put into it, if I continue to fight and fight and fight and fight, if I have opposition and reasons as why I'm going to fight and fight, and I don't come to a place where I center down and I understand that in our hearts, humans will find the desire. But it is God that will fulfill our steps. So as we move into a place where we find out what is the highest intention, the highest desire that I am seeking to experience, and then you want to go a little step further and say, okay, how do I want to feel about it? How do I want to feel about my intention? So first of all, we want to make sure that our intention matches the desire of our heart and soul. And then we want to make sure that our feelings match that, our feelings associated with our beliefs. If you can start to master how you feel and not do it the anger management style, anger management or whatever it is, management where I just suppress, and then one day I'm just going to erupt and I'm going to rip your head off because I just had it, like this gentleman was doing in the workplace. It's like, no, you've got to proclaim and declare what it is that you're after, and you want to proclaim and declare it intended at its highest expression, the highest expression. So we know in our teachings, when we study the works of Joel Goldsmith or Ernest Holmes or Reverend Michael Bernard Beckwith or Mary Baker Eddy or any of the other forefathers or foremothers of our teachings, one of the things that they all had in common is they spoke the truth at the level of the absolute. Not a watered down version that comes in the temporal world where we see the little cartoon character, life is good. And it's like, oh yeah, it's good. It's good when it's good, but it's not when it's not. No, life is good all the time. We're talking capital G good that doesn't have an opposite. There's no opposite. Now I know we, based on our feelings, this can be good or it can be bad. But life is good all the time. Just like life vibrates at yes all the time, life vibrates at good all the time. Goodness is floating the planets around the sun right now. Goodness is illuminating your heart. Goodness planted the desires that bring you joy in your heart. Goodness and God are synonymous. And here I am, I'm selling you. I want to sell you hard on God. Because there ain't nothing better in the universe than the divine. As a matter of fact, it is the universe. So I want to really, we're called ministers or reverends. Reverend coming from reverential. When you are revering or reverential towards something, that's when you're getting into the right feeling, reverential. But I'm also here to rev you up. I'm here to rev you up. The other meaning of a reverend is to rev you up. And how do you want to, yes, I want to step up into something more good in my life. And wherever it is good, one of my favorite things in the world is glory to greater glory. Where it's like, oh, this is really good. And that's where gratitude. You acknowledge the good and you're in gratitude. And it's like, and guess what happens when you acknowledge the good and you're in gratitude? You get more to be grateful for. Now, we all know that. We've all heard it in one way or another. But are you activating it? Are you employing it? Are you actually utilizing these principles and these teachings in your everyday life? How much time, you don't have to answer out loud, but how much time on a daily basis do you spend in communion with your soul, in communion with the divine, as compared to being distracted? There's a personal question I want you to explore, and whatever it is, double the number of how much time you spend with the divine to begin with. And what you will find is if you spend, because biggest excuse is, I don't have time to meditate, I don't have time to read the book, I don't have, sorry, I couldn't make the class, but I had to go do this, whatever it is. And it's like, when you step into the divine, you step into timelessness. So you will be awarded more time out of nowhere and nothing if you want to experience the mystical nature of the universe and experience time expanding instead of contracting. And then I'll tell you what will contract time. Your bad feelings contracts time. Your good feelings expand time. You're in charge of those feelings, and you want to align your good feelings with the overall, all prevailing, all prevalent, all good of God. You want to make sure that you say, okay, I'm going to do that. I'm going to commit to whatever it is on a daily basis. And that's why we have prayer chaplains. That's why we have practitioners. That's why we have people that you can lean into. That's why we offer classes. We're not offering classes. I promise you this. We offer no classes here at Soul Center to make money. We offer classes here to evolve your consciousness. Evolve the lowercase c consciousness. Whether that's going to be some free event that we do, we've got one coming up, but we'll let you know. Or it's one of the classes that you take to be part of the prayer chaplaincy program. To become a prayer chaplain means you've said, I'm going to evolve my consciousness and I'm going to share it with anybody who would allow that to be. You just want to take responsibility. You can do it in a multitude of ways. You can do self-study. You can read the books that we recommend. You could read the Goldsmith books or the Ernest Holmes books or whatever it may be. But you're going to have to make sure, remember the key is that you want to make sure that you are transmuting, not disputing. If you are disputing things in the world, you don't have traction. You're trying to take action on something that does not need your awareness or your attention. You want your attention to be in alignment with your intention, that's alignment with your desire, and then again you're going to find out, it feels like something's against me. They just gave me a dirty look. There must be something wrong with them. Or in my case, I thought there must be something wrong with me. Either way, you're wrong. There's nothing wrong with anybody. Everybody. Now, we're not talking about behavior. We understand that there are behaviors out there that are not reflective of a person's higher nature. But we want to pull their higher nature out like you would do with a child. Child's having a hissy fit. What do? You start to pull, you see their better nature and you pull it out of them. Sometimes it works great and sometimes it takes a little efforting to get there. But you want to make sure eye on the prize. You want to make sure that whoever will seek to save his life will lose it, and whoever will lose his life will gain eternality. That line in scripture might sound like a bad rub, where it's like, oh, when I'm in fight or flight response, and I'm constantly fighting against something, and I continually think there's opposition, I'm going to continually to go down the rabbit hole and spiral into more of that. So I'm going to lose the life of the divine as an experience, because you can't lose your life as the divine in reality, but you can as a human experience. And what did we all come here to do? We all came here to enjoy a beautiful, fun, loving, kind, generous, brilliant experience on planet Earth. That's the whole reason for incarnation, is to have experiences. Do you want to have brilliant and beautiful and harmonious experiences? Or do you want to get distracted into thinking you need to fight against everything and everyone? Claim your good, proclaim it, declare it, and then seek and find, and make sure you weed out. You gotta pull the weeds out of the garden. If there's a health challenge going on, oh, all right, this is what's happening. When we accept something, we're not accepting, oh, this is a health challenge that I'm going through. I guess I just have to accept it and accept the diagnosis and the prognosis. What you're accepting is a phenomenon is taking place in the human experience. What is my intention about this phenomenon? What is my intention? I'd like to experience grace. I'd like to experience purification. I'd like to experience whatever it is that allows the truth to set me free with this physical thing, with this emotional thing, with this situational thing. I understand that some people will go through really hard times with their finances. What is my intention? What is the desire? Where am I headed? And how do I feel about it? Really quick, this is the last little anecdote here. But I've all shared with you before, the part of the thing with finances in my own life when I was into a 5-figure debt that was really crippling me, and I didn't realize that my beliefs that I would have swore if you'd asked my surface mind, oh, do you believe rich people are nasty? Do you think they're entitled? Do you think they take advantage or try to keep the small person down? I probably would have said no if you just asked me to my surface mind, but in sitting in a deep state of meditation, I found out, oh, I do believe that. And since I don't want to be that, then I also won't allow myself to be prosperous or wealthy. So I had to clear out the parts. I shared with you before how I used to have oh God, if you mentioned British royalty, I would just get, because I just thought it was like the most ostentatious, most egregious display of the abuse of power and prosperity. I just thought they were awful, like entitlement at its worst, and I have no reason to feel that way. I didn't grow up there. I was never influenced by them. But it pressed upon that subconscious idea of rich people are mean and nasty. And so I wanted to uncover that and go, oh, I want to know that integrity is integrity, purity is purity. And whether you have money or you don't have money, or whether you're royal or you're not royal, there is a golden light within us that can express as generosity, as goodness, as wholeness, as being in the world but not of the world. And so we want to hold whoever it is, whatever leader you're seeing out there, whatever person of a political party, somebody who's leading a corporation or a country that might be out of integrity with kindness, love, compassion, we don't go, oh, they're awful, they're bad, as tempting as that is. We could, if you want to give yourself a little leeway, you can say, well, that behavior is no good. But then I'm going to say, I'm inviting you into integrity. I'm inviting you into kindness. I'm inviting you to be in alignment with your soul. I've done this with personal people in my life where all of a sudden it's like, ooh, there's something a little off. They did something that was rude. And then I'm like, oh, okay, I felt offended. I'm going to check out my feeling about that. I felt unheard. I want to feel heard. I want to feel nurtured. I'd like to feel supported. I'd like to set those intentions, and I'm calling it from you. Now, of course, I didn't say it to them. I didn't go to them. I'm feeling heard. I'm feeling offended. I'm calling it from you. You do it it in prayer. You do it in intention. You do it in the secret place of the Most High. You go in to the sanctuary of your soul, and you become aware, and you convince yourself of what it is you're after, and that you will be divinely receptive to receive it. Because if you try to convince someone else, you're going to get egos into a little bit of a clashing fight. If you allow yourself to go in and say, this is what I'm after, and sometimes we say, keep it secret, keep it safe. You don't want to share with anybody who cannot hold in the highest regard the intention. You want to make sure you orbit, and when you own it, you will see it. That is the law. It is absolutely malleable. It is irrefutable. The law works the way the law works. When you own that higher consciousness, you will experience that higher consciousness. You want to make sure if you're feeling disappointed, then you haven't been anointed. You have to be anointed. You anoint yourself. You've been anointed by the divine. All you have to do is anoint yourself. Anointing will take care of disappointment. You want to make sure that you create resonance within your own beingness to accept your good. So we're all in agreement. You're all going to say yes. You're going to take personal responsibility. You're no longer going to blame, and that's a stretch. We're going to no longer blame. We're no longer going to point fingers. We're going to find out what we really desire. We're going to own it and claim it. And, as I always say every morning on the daily affirmative prayer call, I only heal, grow, and expand in benevolent, brilliant, elegant, beautiful, immediate, immaculate, efficient, grace-filled, graceful, joy-filled, joyful ways. That's the way we rock and soul. We gotta put that on there. We gotta say, this is the way I do it, because otherwise I might be going, oh yes, I heal arduously, painfully, with a lot of stubbing of my toes and a lot of hiccups along the way. No, not us, not here, not now. We are growing. This community is growing, and as you grow, all will grow. But if you're not clear on what it is you're after, how do you expect the universe to satiate that? You got to be clear. The universe satiates your desires according to the way you allow it to be satiated. So you're going to allow that satiation healthfully, wealthfully, in relationships, and in the self-love department as well. You're going to love yourself and see yourself and know yourself as God sees, knows, and loves you. You're going to have no dependence on persons or things, but all dependence on God. And that is Joel Goldsmith and his advice, and I'm going to say we sign on with that. No dependence on the outer world, dependence on the divine, and allow, just the outer world responding. Thy will be done. Oh, it is delicious. So we're all going to say yes to that, yes? Yes. All right. For those of you at home, yes, we're saying yes. And for those of you streaming in, I know there's a couple of you that still haven't caught up with the daylight savings things yet. I know we'll see you next week. For those of you who are visiting Southern California, you'll make sure you come right here to Newport Beach and join us in person so we can love up on you. We want to make sure, let's see, I think, have I sold you on God? Have I sold you? Yes. So with that, we're going to seal the deal with a prayer. I'm going to invite you to go ahead and join me as we tune and turn within once again. Oh, we're going to open to greater glory. We're going to open and make more room for more love and more joy and more peace, more beauty and more grace than ever before. We're choosing to expand our divine energy quotient this day, and we know that it is God's good pleasure and only pleasure to bring forward all good in all ways. We choose to remember the truth that we are born from the holy heart, the holy light. And wherever we are, benevolent opportunities, brilliance, newness, freshness is always waiting for us to call upon it. We choose today to always align our intention, our attention on the desires of our soul. We take our attention off of the world of effects and we return home. We choose to be in a ceaseless state of divine awareness. We're expanding our spiritual practice. We're expanding our surface mind into the higher consciousness of our soul. We carry it with us everywhere we go. All the good, all the brilliance. We return to the beginning. We return to the beginning and we allow the bliss, the joy, the goodness to flow itself right now. If there's anything anybody's going through in in their health, in their wealth, in a situation or circumstance, we bring it into the holy light and we choose to say, show me what I truly desire, show me the benevolent outcome, show me and give me the enthusiasm, the motivation, the inspiration to thrive in the perfect blueprint of my divinity. This is what we call forward today. This is what we are allowing. And we're not taking no for an answer because the universe vibrates at yes, at love, at good, at beauty. We shall absolutely succeed in our endeavors. We choose to do it in joy-filled, joyous, grace-filled, graceful, beautiful, magnificent, immediate, divine, holy, immaculate ways. Always growing, glowing, and more good. Oh, we choose to personify the divine right here, right now, anchoring heaven on earth as our health, anchoring heaven on earth as our prosperity, anchoring heaven on earth as sacred, holy relationships, anchoring heaven on earth as creative expression, flowing effortlessly, and being good at divine receptivity. I am good at receiving my good, and I am allowing it to be right here, right now. Each one of us rejoicing, knowing that there is a holy presence that seeks only for your joy. It is humble, it is pure, it is holy, and it is only seeking that you say yes to your good. And we do so from a place of divine receptivity by saying, and so I let it be.
So let it be.
And so it is.
And so it is.
Amen.
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 Ashe.
Ashe.
Aho.
Aho.
Mahalo.
Mahalo.
Shalom.
Shalom.
Hotep.
Hotep.
And hallelujah.
Hallelujah.
All right, Soul Center. All right, we're ready for our beautiful angel ushers to come forward. And this is our time of conscious giving and tithing, participating in the law of circulation, just circulating that which we call currency or money, whatever that may be, knowing that it must come back to us returned. We are intending it returns to us at least tenfold. For those of you streaming in live right now on our high-tech on the screen there, you can see there are several ways that you can tithe. You can tithe by texting the word give to area code, let's see, what is it? By texting the word give to area code 669-342-2157. You can go to soulcenteroc.com and hit the give button to donate safe and securely. You can Venmo at soulcenteroc under the business, not under the personal. You can donate with cash and checks right here. And as our ushers go forward, and as those of you online tithe for our community, I just want to say thank you. There's so many people that have held us through the pandemic, held us through everything. We are grateful for all of that, and we know that as we rise individually, we rise collectively. And and you can also mail, using snail mail if you want to. I've covered all the bases, and I'm going to turn it over to the brilliant and beautiful Sheila.
Thank you. Really fine wine.
Swirl it over. That works.
God.
bless this offering, we take a moment knowing the universe is infinitely abundant, never withholding, always lavishing, praising, raising, and expanding its good. That good as time, as resources, as finances is always available. And we say yes to circulating and witnessing that expansion. Grateful for this offering here today. We bless it knowing that it returns to everybody multiplied infinitely, brilliantly, effortlessly, and elegantly. And we allow our continued expansion, knowing our home is found and that all needs are met, individually and collectively. We bless it as good and we allow it to be so by saying, and so it is.
So it is.
Amen.
Amen.
While we wait for the kids, I want to just mention that Sheila Nichols can be found on Spotify, and I know Spotify is the musician's, way to find music. So please download her album and listen to all that beautiful joy all the time. I know that their lesson today was concentration and how you can find your faith in concentration and focus. So it looks to me like Sadie said that I feel concentrated when I take a walk. Rise and sing our peace song.
For those of you who'd like to sing along, the words are in your programs for our closing peace song. Something wonderful has taken place. I'm saying yes to the call of my soul and its divine fulfillment, satiated elegantly, brilliantly, and beautifully. I allow it to be so, and I simply agree by saying once again, and so it is. So it is. And for those of you streaming live, don't forget we'll have our daily affirmative prayer call tomorrow at 9:30.